Hello everybody! Welcome back to Melody Ever After. I didn't die. I have just been not filming. A lot has happened since the last time I made a video. I think that last video I made only got like
200 views.
We are good to go. But I did want to say that I am not dead and I am back to making content like usual. It's been a lot, but I have moved. So I moved every single thing that I own, like 2 hours from where I was living. So if you thought you knew where I lived before, good luck finding me now. Please don't take that as a challenge, okay? I don't need any freaking weirdos looking me up. So another thing that has happened, by the time you're watching this video, I will have been a married woman. That's right, that little nerd who made a Morrowind video on my channel married me, and we are married now. So if I could get a congratulations in chat. I'm just kidding. I'm joking. Anyway, so happy holidays. Merry Christmas. I wanted to make a video about something that is festive and, just, starting back my channel on perhaps a jolly note, if you know what I'm saying. And so today, we're gonna be talking about the Christmas season. 5 legends that are very scary Christmas. Today we're going to be talking about 5 legends that are scarier than Krampus. Everybody knows who Krampus is, and everyone's seen that horrible movie. Krampus is like Santa's goat demon alter ego, and he loves to eat kids. There's some scarier things out there, and today we're going to be delving right into them. How do you like my new office, by the way? Do you like it? Do you love it? Yeah, you do. Anyway, moving on. I am going to be talking about this from a very uneducated standpoint. I am, almost vulgarly American. I am intensely American, and I really don't know anything outside of the good Christian holiday known as Christmas, where we celebrate the birth of 9-pound, 8-ounce little baby Jesus.
It's a bit odd and off-putting to pray to a baby.
Well, look, I like the Christmas Jesus best, and I'm saying grace.
Christmas and the tradition surrounding it has not always been a Christian holiday. Everybody knows this. I think it's really funny when you see people on Facebook that are like, don't let your kids dress up on Halloween. You're gonna invite demons into your home. And then they put up like wreaths. That's pagan too. Like, guys. Christmas was not always a Christian holiday. In fact, a lot of Christmas traditions predate Christianity and were celebrated by pagans, by the holiday known as Yule. And so a lot of the legends and folklore from Germany, Iceland, that kind of northern midsummer Ariaster kind of land up there are a lot scarier than the fat man who comes down the chimney that we have for some reason allowed to slip through, because I guess he's like a happy guy, right? So we can't like have like Krampus because it's a Christian holiday and like that's like a goat man, but we can have like a freaky old fat guy coming down your chimney, stealing your food and leaving you presents, because that's kind of like charming in a way, I guess. Number 5, Grilla. Number 5, we have Oh my god. Number 5, we have Grilla. Grilla was an Icelandic giantess who's basically the personification of every bad decision you've ever made wrapped in a fur coat and bad intentions, if you know what I'm saying. She's a thrice married giantess who essentially eats bad children. A lot of people have seen the famous painting of Grilla. And it's scary. It's actually horrifying. There's like a mother behind the kid like and then Grilla's
holding like a dead baby.
And also, what did that baby do? That kid's gotta be like, what, 2? Like, how naughty is a 2-year-old? Like, they're 2. What did they do? Half of them can't even talk yet. Like, okay, whatever. So essentially, Grilla is an Icelandic giantess who eats bad children. She has 3 husbands, and the 3rd husband apparently has this special psychic power that can sense overall naughtiness. Basically, her little husband sent her out to eat the children who have been naughty. Some legends say that she can actually smell naughtiness and smell bad children, so she hunts down all the little shits in the village who have been like putting tacks in teachers' chairs and however the fuck that song goes. But essentially the thing about Grilla is that I'm combining Grilla. So I'm going to be talking about her little family of freaks that hunt out the bad kids. So she's got these husbands who can smell out the bad children. And then she has this really big cat.
Jill Lapotterin.
Yeah, that wasn't right. Yolakotterin. Essentially, is a big cat known as the Yule Cat. And you know, the Yule Cat sounds very cute. It sounds very cutesy, but it's not. Yule Cat essentially looks like a giant black panther, who is the king of classism. In Icelandic folklore, all the lazy people get nothing for Christmas, but the hardworking people get new clothes. So essentially, breaking that down, to all the people who have new clothes, Yolakotterin does not hunt them down. But if you have been lazy at your job and you don't have new clothes for the Yuletide season, Yolakotterin will hunt you and eat you alive. So that is Grila's cat. And Grilla also has these 13 little guys, kind of like the 7 dwarves, known as the 13 Christmas lads, or the 13 Yule lads, if we're going by Yule. And they have like these little like freaky little names. We've got Sausage Swiper and Window Peeper, Door Slammer. These are like mischievous little turds, like your cousins that you see once a year, who are really, really like freaking annoying, but they're always doing like weird stuff. They are known to cause mischief. They're kind of like the leprechauns of Icelandic folklore. So they also do what their name says they do. So Sausage Swiper steals all the weenies, and then Door Slammer slams doors around the house, and Window Peeper, you don't even want to know what that freak does. They're like the kings of this mildly annoying behavior, and if you're bad, they might just take vengeance on you and kill you. Think that that's way scarier than Krampus. You see Krampus in, not Krampus specifically, you see that kind of demon-esque iconography in things like Dante's Inferno. We're really familiarized with like the goat guy. The goat guy doesn't scare me anymore. I'm over the goat guy. The old lady, like the Visit 2.0, yeah, that's horrifying. I don't want to walk in. If I walked in as a young mother, I'm not a mother, but like if I were, and I walk into a nursery, dude, and I see an old lady like face covered in blood and she's taking a big chunk out of my toddler's stomach, I'm dying right there. Like I'm not surviving that. Like that's gonna send me into cardiac arrest effective immediately, dude. Coming in at number 4, we have Mari Lloyd. Mari Lloyd is tied to Welsh tradition, where this is a group of carolers who walk around with this thing that looks like it could be a decoration in a goth baddie's bedroom. It's essentially a big horse skull with a sheet draped around it. Sometimes the people who are carrying it are dressed up. And it's supposed to symbolize rebirth and death. Some people say that the gaunt skull aspect of it represents the death of the Christmas season. They're celebrating the return of the sun. This is the death of winter. And some people just say that it represents rebirth of the new year. But either way, this is a dead horse skull on a stick with a sheet draped around it, followed by a bunch of people who are dressed up in some costumes. And overall, this is not scary when you talk about the actual implication of it, but this is downright horrifying. If I saw someone coming down the street in America, little southern town America where I live, and I saw a bunch of people coming down with a big stick with a dead horse skull on it and sheets, I would think that there was a special clan that was coming to town, and I would alert the authorities, if you know what I'm saying. Overall, this is not a scary tradition. I think it's kind of nice, the sentiment of rebirth and the sentiment of the death of winter, and overall, I think that that's a great thing. A lot of times, these travelers will come with this horse skull known as Mari Lloyd, and which is Welsh for the gray mare. That itself is not scary, but what's scary is the idea of like these people coming down my street with a giant horse skull on a stick. That's downright horrifying. And a lot of times these little travelers or carolers or whatever you want to call them are singing songs and chanting rhymes, and a lot of times they get in this super cool epic rap battle where it's like a roast fest rap battle where it's jokingly teasing, jokingly silly, people are roasting one another and you've got to rhyme it. It's called PWNCO. And considering there's only one vowel in that word, I don't know how to say it. Me, the American in me, wants to call it Pwinko. I feel like that's probably wrong. It's scarier to me than Grilla because I know that Grilla is not real. Grilla's kind of reminded me of, have you ever watched, what is that one movie? Have you ever watched
butterfly in the sky.
Beowulf. Have you ever watched Beowulf where Scarlett Johansson's character is like in the cave? Scarlett Johansson's character is like in the cave. Scarlett Johansson's character
Scarlett Johansson's character.
cave, and she can like hear things, and she just like goes out as a monster. That's what Grilla reminds me of. She's more of a mythical being. This is like people carrying around a horse skull on a stick. Arguably, I think that's scarier. I think that that's freaky. I would love to participate in this, though. Don't get me wrong. I would love to be a part of this. If there are any Welsh people watching that. Also, if there's any Welsh people watching this, sorry about my pronunciation. I think that Mari Lloyd is a very whimsical tradition. We're gonna keep it low. I will say that's kind of cute, and I think we should bring this to America. I mean, we have never ruined anything before. I think that, you know, the more stuff you bring here, the better, because we make things better. Coming up next, we've got Belsnickel.
Oh, judgment is nigh, for der Belsnickel ist I.
Yes, he is finally nigh.
I am nigh.
Now, this one is really, like, hilarious to me, and not just because of that one episode of The Office. Belsnickel is a German character who is friends with Santa Claus. This guy hangs out with a sketchy crowd, bro. Santa Claus is, like, friends with, like, Krampus and Belsnickel, and like, what is Santa up to? Like, that's what I gotta know. Belsnickel is this mythical man, and he's just a man. He's just a guy, which is so funny. He carries a big bag of treats for the children, and when he visits, he spills the bag out for the children. It's got like candies and nuts and fruits, and all the kids are gobbling up the stuff, and he doesn't care if they've been naughty. He doesn't care if they've been nice. Belsnickel has been known to take a whip and just whip every single... Really, like, he'll just take a bag of candy and lure kids to, like, and then all the kids are, and then they... Which is, like, crazy. Like, what? The history of Belsnickel is a little bit mucky, kind of like the history of every Christmas creature. A lot of people think that Belsnickel doesn't exactly come from the Germanic origin, or maybe he was, you know, kind of developed in that transitional period of pre-Germany and Germany. Some people say that the legend of Belsnickel really started to develop when German settlers started moving to Pennsylvania. But whatever the case, Belsnickel is this kind of like grumpy, crotchety old man with like this big untamed beard, and he's wearing like these furs, and he's got big fur cap, and he looks like the most disgusting man you've ever seen. And he dumps out a bunch of candy for children, and when they come to get it, he whips them. And I think that's charming. I think that's wonderful. So that's Belsnickel. The next ones are gonna be my top two, and they're horrifying. We're going to be talking about Perchta or Frau Perchta. And for those of you who have seen the Krampus movie, this creature was featured in the Krampus movie.
Little did I know, it would be a feature, a creature feature, featuring the creature.
She was kind of depicted as, I think, like the angel on top of the tree. But the story goes, Perchta is this doll or this angelic figure that can be very, very beautiful, or almost like a doll, either like a doll or a tree topper, angel on the Christmas tree, or even be an angel. She can take on many forms. She could also take on the form of a hag, of a witch. She can be horrifying. So it just kind of depends on how she wants to appear. It's one of those things where it's like different people see her in different ways. She can change shape. Maybe she does some like transfiguration type stuff. But essentially, Perchta loves cleanliness. She wants all the little kids to keep their rooms clean, tidy up the house, be these like very diligent, obedient children. And if the children are not obedient, or if the children have kept a dirty house or things like that, her MO is to disembowel them. And if she doesn't personally disembowel them, she sends this horde of furry horned goat demons to disembowel them for her, which is, I mean, it's what it is. I think disemboweling children is a great MO for scariness on the creepy Christmas meter. I'm gonna put this one at number 2. That's why she's rolling in at number 2. And you know, she might be number 1 if she was scary all the time, but the fact that she appears also, is it scarier that she appears beautiful? Because it's like, you see this beautiful angel woman, you see this beautiful doll-like creature, and she just disembowels your child? Like, is that worse? Coming in at the number 1 spot, we've got the creepy Germanic legend of Hans Trapp. This is the ultimate don't go in the woods boogeyman. This guy's a total freak. Hans Trapp started out as this super rich Scrooge-like character. Not sure if that's where like Scrooge was inspired from or not. His evil started with greed, okay? This guy was super rich, and there's 2 different versions of the legend. The first version goes he was so greedy that he got excommunicated from the Catholic Church. And first of all, I want to say, if you're so greedy that you got excommunicated from the Catholic Church, you'd have been something crazy. Then the second version is that his greed led him into madness and he started practicing witchcraft or demonology, and that's what caused him to get excommunicated from the Catholic Church. And that makes much more sense to me. But I think the idea of him being so greedy, even the Catholics were like, dude, is actually really funny. So as time went on, one way or another, Hans Trapp began to worship Satan. He became a devout follower of Satan. Catholic Church not only kicked him out from the church, but they exiled him into the forest. And, you know, they probably should have killed him or something. I mean, looking at all of the inquisitions, like, that they have done, like the missionary work that they have done throughout history, I feel like killing him could have been a better option. But they just kicked him out, they exiled him to the forests, and he only went crazier from there. Hans Trapp took a little trip to the woods, and that guy went completely off the rail. He built a little shack out of sticks, and then in his isolation, he became absolutely deranged, obsessing over the idea of cannibalism, because you're in the woods, what else are you gonna think about it, okay? I mean, he was bored, probably. Instead of killing deer, do you know what sounds a whole lot easier? Like luring children to your stick shack in the woods. So his plan was that he was going to stuff his clothes full of straw and stand out in fields like a scarecrow and lure children to his little shack. Now, I don't know if this was like a scarecrow came to life bit. I don't know why early Germanic children were lured by scarecrows. Not sure on that one. But either way, he disguised himself as a scarecrow. The legend goes that he was able to stalk and lure a child to the point where he was able to skewer the 10-year-old boy with a stick and drag him back into the woods to his little freaky cannibal shack and began cooking him, and that's when the good Lord said enough is enough, and the legend goes that God himself struck him down with a bolt of lightning. And the answer is a little bit more convoluted. Hans Trapp himself wasn't a real person, but he was inspired by a knight named Hans von Trotha, who was an early Germanic knight who was just greedy, and apparently he was actually excommunicated by the Pope and the Catholic Church for being like greedy. They must have hated the shit out of this guy. Like, he was just kind of like rich and like flexing on his boys, and then the Pope was like, this has got to go, like he's got to get out of here. And so then he gets exiled, and everyone hated this guy so much that they just made this horrible rumor about him faking being a scarecrow and eating children and dragging them back to a shack in the woods. Like, that's, guys, did he deserve that? That is horrifying. Today in France, people still use Hans Trapp as a horror kind of boogeyman character to encourage kids to eat their vegetables. Because apparently if you don't eat your vegetables, Hans Trapp is going to eat you. Yeah?
Diet Coke.
Thank you. Gracias.
Love you.
Me too. He's my bitch. 5 Christmas legends, even scarier than Krampus. What did you guys think of them? How bad did I butcher them? Let me know. I do the best I can. This is my first video that I've made in a long time. I haven't made a video in about, 6 months? So please be nice to me or be mean to me. That helps me too, honestly. If you like this video, I would really appreciate it if you dropped a comment down below. You don't have to subscribe or anything. Just let me know what you thought of the video. Until next time, we are going to be talking about some more scary stuff. I've got scary videos. I've got some stupid stuff I'm going to do. I've got scary movies I'm going to watch. I've got new video games I got to play. I've got a lot of content prepared for you guys. And I'm really looking to kick back into 2025 with a whole new series of content. Melody Ever After is going to be revived. So I really appreciate it if you'd hang around for that. That's all I've got for today. Until next time.